If you would like to get your song reviewed, dear listener, there's the filthy capitalist option. As Sori says, $125 gets you straight to the head of the line. You don't have to be a part of the alliance. You don't have to be part of the group.
Wait a minute.
And the biggest thing is you don't have to wait. You hop, skip, and jump right in front of everybody. $125 gets you there. You do that 3 times, and you get mashed down to the $75 rate for perpetuity.
Yes!
Also, there is a band review option. So if you've got a band and you're trying to get your band some exposure, hit me up at vinsori@gmail.com, and I'll show you the details about how to pull that off.
You can also jump on Patreon, and there is a option on the tiers to be able to get your band reviewed. Yep. Obviously, we can't lie to you, so we can't guarantee a positive review. Get what you get.
It's just rubbish.
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 That's British for garbage.
My favorite is the community option. $1 at the gate gets you in at Patreon. You get to join an alliance. The alliance joins their points together, and that helps determine what songs that we do.
The alliances hang out on Discord.
Message me on Patreon to get the link.
And they do all kinds of other cool things. They do Minecraft, Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah. It's really a community within the community. Anybody can go on the village, facebook.com/Vin and Sori. There's 160,000+ people on the channel. What's cool about the Discord is that it offers a real opportunity for community connection, friendship, that type of thing.
And it's on Discord, so if you're not a Facebook person, it's for you.
You start off at $1.
Right.
Plus you get exclusives. Sori and I are working on a song. So the first 15 seconds of that was on Patreon. Also, at $15 tier and above, when we actually debut the video, they're going to be there live with us. There you are, dear listener.
Buy our merch.
Buy our merch indeed, and y'all shall lead them.
Buy our merch.
All right, dear listener. Right now, we're not talking about merch, though. We're talking about Sylosis,
Yes.
the band Sylosis.
Conclusion on an 8. That's
Conclusion of an age, it looks like. Yeah.
Okay, that makes more sense.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. Shout out to DJ Mike. If you want to know how to be a DJ, the details are involved in the thingamajiggy.
Yeah, no, the details are in that video, but you send a message, vinsori@gmail.com, and then Vin will give you my secret email, and then we'll correspond there and set up your whole thing. What?
Correspond.
thingamajiggy at the ends. Okay, Conclusion of an Age or The Age by Sylosis.
I like the sound of the ocean.
Oh, I thought you were saying, okay, I thought you were going somewhere with that.
Well, I had it at the end there.
Yeah, is that the last song on the record?
Oh, I don't know. No, it's not.
No, it's kind of at the halfway point. Okay,
Yeah.
go ahead. I was going to say, if that was the last song on the record, that's not a good,
And there?
that's not a good, I mean, in the universe of the album, it would mean that we'd be dead, right? So.
Oh.
Right? Like.
Well, I actually.
You hear all this death and destruction,
okay.
and then all you hear is waves crashing. Doesn't that remind you of the flood? Like.
It didn't.
Oh, okay.
It didn't. I like the sound of the ocean, so I was picturing all of my ocean memories.
All right.
Atrocities before our eyes, this crumbling world now lies gasping for air. And it sickens me to think we will not grow old and die before we face extinction, human demise.
I'm following along on Twitter some very, very brilliant woman. Her name is Catherine something or other. And she basically was writing a eulogy for the human race. She's like, well, we had a good run, but then things went left when our brains and our minds like made that quantum leap of consciousness above all the other animals, and we thought ourselves into extinction. Because she's basically looking at this whole situation with Russia, and we're nuclear power, they're nuclear power. People are talking crazy. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Like, so it's like, and so she was kind of like writing an RIP. She basically was saying that we were animals who couldn't handle consciousness, basically.
Oh, wow.
And so because of that, we ended up,
Going
eradicating
extinct?
ourselves, basically.
Wow.
Yeah. And then I don't know if you've ever heard of the Fermi paradox, but it was interesting because Fermi paradox is basically, if there is intelligent life out here, how come we don't see any of these aliens? Where are they at? Right?
Yeah.
So there's billions and quadrillions of stars out there, so there should be life somewhere. That's the paradox. How come we haven't seen it? So there's all these random explanations for or how come. And one of them was that basically every intelligent species, once they get to a certain level of intelligence, they discover nuclear capabilities and they eradicate themselves. So like that's why you only see one intelligent life form at a time, basically, is because there's
and so we'll be one. We'll go explore ourselves as well.
Right. People were just like, it's over. You know what I'm saying?
Wow. Okay.
like damn, that's kind of but I mean,
Doc? Metal?
I don't believe that the world is going to end in a nuclear holocaust now or ever.
Did you ever think it would?
Well, yeah, when I held a certain theological positions, obviously, right? But like, I mean, hell, people are looking forward to that shit.
Sick.
But I don't not believe that we're going to all turn into ash because I believe in human beings. Because you know what I'm saying?
Exactly,
like I am not depending on the reasoning capabilities of human beings to get us through this at all.
When we had that other theology, we were relying on human beings.
What do you mean?
Well, at least I was like, okay, human beings. As soon as like God takes the Christians out, then it's just going to be human beings left, and they're going to inevitably.
Oh yeah, but then they had to fight God in Armageddon, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you thought it was like up at the sky, Jesus is coming in a horse, and like
no, Sadie, that was our last song. Sorry, you made it here just at the end.
And like folks are shooting at Jesus from the air, like that type of shit.
I mean, I think they did.
Right, so that's what I'm saying. Like that's not a nuclear war. Like, did you think that the unbelievers were going to try to nuke Jesus?
I just assumed there was going to be a bunch of bombs going all over the place, and then that was going to be...
And it was like horses, like straight up horses.
No.
Or you thought he was in a
I don't know why
ship?
you're laughing like that. I never thought there was going to be actual horses.
No, I've never actually... Well, remember that conversation? I got in an argument with Dorian. Dorian's like, they're horses. And I'm like, they're not horses, man. They're just... Remember that whole thing?
No. We never thought that because we had been told that, like, oh, if you read this, it sounds like it's a helicopter, blah, blah, blah. So everything was, like, pushed to the future.
Oh,
so
okay.
It was like...
So
okay,
Jesus was going to come down in a helicopter.
babe...
I'm genuinely asking
warring.
what you thought.
We were going to be warring.
Right, but were you going to be on a... Oh, so Jesus was going to be on a horse and you were going to be in a chopper.
I don't know. It really didn't matter, babe. It really didn't matter.
All right, I'm not mad at it.
Fighting and...
You're going to do jihad.
Yeah, I guess, yeah. No, I mean, yeah.
Okay.
Sure.
All right.
Don't laugh like you didn't believe some of that, too.
That part was always weird to me.
It was always weird to me as
It
well.
was always fuzzy to me. I was like...
And I studied... It didn't matter how many times I studied it. I always felt confused. I said, I hope somebody doesn't ask me about this.
Yeah, the locusts were
I'm
Apache...
just going to start focusing on the
Did you think the locusts were Apache helicopters?
Well, they did say at one point that it was helicopters, but I didn't have a problem believing that the locusts were actually locusts that were going to fly in and just consume everything.
Yeah, they're left behind.
There was
they
a
caught
cartoon
one of them
we
in
saw
the jar.
or something like that. Yes, he had a helmet on.
And he was saying, Apollyon!
Apollyon!
All right. So it just looks like this guy's got like an RIP for humanity.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we're left to face the sorrow eternally, the strength of oceans, the blinding light, the cosmic forces revealing their might. I thought that was a cool line.
Which one?
The cosmic forces revealing their might, because we're so arrogant. Human beings are so arrogant with our technology and, oh, we figured out how to split the atom and yada, yada, yada. And this thing is saying, like, yeah, but there's a limit as to how much of the created order you can master.
Yeah.
And and at the end of the day, you are still basically trapped within the cosmic forces.
Yeah.
They're God in this universe to a degree. Mm-hmm. The closing of an age, war. Yeah. This war erases history. Watching as we all fall apart. Witness catastrophe spread like... You know what's interesting? One thing I heard today, which was really fascinating, was that one of the reasons... There's a theory, a deterrence theory, that one of the reasons that we have not had a World War III is because of nuclear weapons.
Oh, this is interesting. Well, why is that?
So,
because that's like the next step and nobody wants to really like blow that off.
Right. It's kind of the doctrine of mutual assured destruction,
yeah.
right? Back in the day with us and the Soviets. And so if you have just a few countries capable, it's understood that if those countries are hostile with each other, they shouldn't fight. Because then it can escalate all. So then so it kind of explains really the last, I don't know, 50 to 60 years where it's like, we won't fight, the Russians won't fight us in Vietnam, but they'll arm the Viet Cong to kill us. Then we won't fight the Russians and the Soviets in Afghanistan, and we'll have the Mujahideen. So there's been like these proxy wars that have happened because we can't fight each other directly. So the nuclear capabilities of these countries actually, in this theory, results in us not having a world war.
Yeah, that's interesting. I actually think I kind of agree with that.
But it's just really fascinating because it's like, holy shit, you know, when you look at Hiroshima and Nagasaki, it's like, this is terrible. I could see how other countries would be racing to like, we cannot let the Americans own just this one. See, that's the thing. Like, if people talk about nuclear proliferation and all this, like if you were another country, like, and you'd want only one country, in a country that's proven that they'll do that shit. You want only one country to have a nuke? Like, I would be all over the place going to get that shit. But, you know, like, that shit is just unbelievable.
Yeah.
But yeah, like, that concept is a really, really interesting concept, that the fact that there's no way to one-up a nuclear warhead. There's no way to one-up that. You're going to lose 30, 40,000 civvies at a pop. Like, and you're never going to be the same. And even if you get retaliation, you're going to murder a whole city. it'll be so devastating
Yeah.
that the idea that could
Stop people from
engaging in a massive world war is just really, really fascinating. It's really, really, really fascinating.
But it makes sense. It makes sense. Like,
It-
I mean, if you
it
think
just
like on a
assumes-
smaller scale, like, when we were kids, like, I remember my sister and I used to get in these big giant fights. And for some reason, as
About
long
what?
as- it really didn't matter. Because there was other issues. And the fight
I
was
see.
about those other issues. But
I
that
see.
was never what was discussed. So, it was weird because, like, I remember thinking a lot of times, like, if we fought but we didn't fight in front of my parents, like physically fighting each other, if we did that not in front of my parents, then we were okay. But if my parents saw us, then you'd both get in trouble. But anyway, like, I remember a lot of times thinking, if I do this one thing, then she's gonna do this back. And basically it's mutual assured destruction.
Yeah.
And so I just wouldn't do that thing. You know what I mean? I regret it though. I do. It's so bad. I need to grow up. Yeah, it's just like,
You think?
yeah. But there were so many times where I wouldn't take it to the next level, so she would win every single time. And that level of, I think that's probably another, maybe that's kind of why. So I saw this thing by Jordan Peterson where he was talking about kids, and especially during a certain age, you can't let another kid pick on the younger one. Like, you have to make sure that you get in the middle of that, because if they spend their first like primary years being treated a certain way, then they're going to feel like the world is unfair, and it will inevitably make them I think like a more violent person. So I'm always trying to watch, that Orion's not picking on Reza. Orion's 3 and Reza's 1. I'm trying to make sure he's not doing that too much frustration to his younger brother.
Yeah, that mutual assured destruction concept saved my little brother's life many a time growing up.
Why? Because you didn't want your mom
I
to go
was
after you?
gonna murder him so many times, but then I would also be destroyed. So I wasn't gonna let
And
that
who wants
happen.
that?
I wasn't gonna let that happen, bro.
Yeah, I see how at the end, now looking at these lyrics, how you were thinking of the flood.
Yeah, all you hear is water after that.
It's so weird because I'm so used to hearing the ocean with birds that I added birds into it. I thought for sure there was birds.
Yeah, no, it's just a bunch of bodies, man, floating around, and yeah, not good. Not a good future. Not a happy future. And this mostly has to do with your fault.
Here we go. Here we go. All right, I give this one an 8.
An 8. I give this song an 8.5. Definitely. The first
8.5.
Sylosis song was like very, very emotional. It's
Me
just
too.
like,
Me too.
kind of hit you in the gut. You ever feel a little bit emotional listening to that song?
Oh, I absolutely did.
Yeah.
I actually thought, I bet if I heard none of your music until it was completed, it'd be emotional.
I doubt that. Well, no.
How can you doubt that?
No, I don't think I doubt that. The topics are very
Exactly.
emotional. You'd have to
No,
be.
not just that, but like the
you'd have to
sound.
be a bum to not be able to make the topics that we're talking about on these songs emotional or non-emotional. All right, 8.5. Dwayne gives it an 8.3. Dwayne believes that the Beatles are the best band in the world, so you got to kind of take his ratings with a grain of salt, there, listener. We are coming back on the other side. Vin out.
Sorry out.
Gone.